Welcome to Startup Circle. I'm Varsha Meghani. In this episode, we catch up with Kinnar Sachdev, co-founder and CEO of Nourish, a startup that helps people convert their hobbies into professions and has seen massive growth during this lockdown. Take a look. Hi Kinnar, thanks for joining us. Walk us through what the platform offers for be it teachers, consultants, experts, people who just have a hobby and want to convert it into a profession. How can Nourish help them?
Let's take an example of a yoga teacher. Before they become a teacher, they would realize that I am really good at this. What was missing earlier is that the ability to side hustle, the ability to build this business or this side of your life separately while you're still working on something full time. But with technology and with the access that technology really provides today, and what Nourish is able to offer them, they can start doing that. So, what they have to first do is identify that niche or the hobby that they want to build their side business in, or eventually their main business in, then build some content in that domain, as in just stand in front of the camera the way I am just sitting in front of a camera now, and write a bit of curriculum around it, so give structure to whatever you're trying to teach. Then after you put the content on, go to the platform, build your website, put that content snippet online, set a price for it, and then you've got to shout out on social media. You could start by just talking about your content to your friends organically, and then eventually start spending maybe a little bit of ad money on those. So that's basically a big picture of how it is done.
Can you give us some examples of the kind of publishers who are using your platform? You mentioned you wanted Nourish to make online learning the new norm for the next billion users. Can you highlight some examples from tier 2, tier 3 towns, people who are using the platform and taking advantage of it?
It's a story close to home. I grew up in a small town in Haryana called Bhiwani. Not a lot of people would have heard of it. So I got a call from one of the old physics teacher. And in these small towns, what happens is that if you become popular for teaching maths, physics, you're going to be flocked by students because they think you are the answer to all their problems in that subject. So here is this teacher who's probably teaching still at one of the Kendriya Vidyalayas, and the problem was during the lockdown he feared that the curriculums are not going to be finished, and he's been seeing us doing this on social media. So he reached out and he said, how can I do this? He had a basic phone, probably like a 5 6 thousand rupee kind of a phone, and the way he started teaching is just had those notes that he had handwritten. He would use a camera, didn't even have a tripod and no place to order a tripod in that kind of a town during the lockdown. So I saw the setup. There was this sofa with all the things put on the sofa to make a tripod stand. And in front of that, he'll just teach with a blackboard. In fact, there was no blackboard. There was the whiteboard that his kid used to use. So he would solve those problems. And then he would share the screenshots, like the paper written image of those like this in front of the camera, and show it to students attending again on simple cameras that their parents have. I've seen people doing how to chant mantras, how to be positive, gratitude. I've seen somebody teaching fishing. I've seen a course on the platform just a few days ago where somebody's teaching specifically for the LGBTQ community, how do you live a normal life and gain confidence. So really amazing content out there, and I can keep quoting them because there are now over a few thousand courses on the platform.
What about platforms like Zoom or Google Meet or Google Classrooms that also offer, various tools to teachers, trainers, etc. to go online? How do you differentiate yourselves from them?
There are a lot of differences in a Zoom environment. The ideal use case is basically a meeting, and they're called Zoom meetings. So the idea is that when you're doing a live session, you come online as a teacher, the students come online, and everybody is talking to each other. There are a lot of problems to that innate solution as well, because you must have heard a lot of classrooms were getting disrupted by students not being nice, being naughty, a lot of other people joining in, then a teacher just trying to manage whose camera they switch off, who should they mute, stuff like that. And after the session ends, you don't have any recall. If you've recorded the session, you're going to upload it, but where? So again, another solution is required. You don't have a chat board after the session has ended. There is no scheduling of the classroom automatically happening. The students are not talking to each other. There is no login based environment where students could log in at any point of time in a secured environment. No need for a teacher to manage it all. So I can go on and on. I mean, these environments were not designed for classes. When you look at a solution like Google Classroom, I think it's a great effort for a school. But when you really look at the interface and the way it is built, there's a lot more that is left to be desired, because this is an initiative which they are trying to help people with, without putting any cost on it. What we have done in Nourish is we have built a product that's not just going to solve this online class problem for a school or for a publisher or a content creator. It goes much beyond. You could tomorrow monetize it as an individual. If you are a school, you could manage those people in a much better way than any other solution offers you at the moment.
Kiran, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a challenge for most businesses, but for you all, it's been an opportunity. How have you all taken advantage of this opportunity? And can you give us a sense of the growth in numbers that you've seen pre-COVID as well as now?
In a fortunate position to be able to help people during these tough times. Our platform has enabled a lot of teachers, tutors whose businesses had stopped literally. We've been approached by people who said that, I was making 50,000 rupees, but last 2 months I've not been able to do anything at all. So we could actually leverage that situation and help those people really make money again. And some of those people, I get so happy about it, they were able to make more money than they were actually making in the physical world. They were able to reach out to more students. They were able to help and teach more number of students than they were ever able to. So how did we do this is because we were actually fortunate to have the funding, the pre-series A round that we were trying to raise close right before the pandemic. So we had closed those discussions, and the money hit right after the pandemic, and people were excited. All our investors were excited that this is a great time to make this happen. So we could reach out to more content creators. We could build a better team. We could launch a lot of new features like live classrooms. We had that feature scheduled much later, but then we figured that, this time warrants a solution like this to be available for schools and content creators for very reasonable prices. So we could launch a lot of new features. We could also build a team that could handhold and walk a lot of our content creators step by step. So we were able to put together a team, understanding that in India, teachers are not that technology friendly. They're going to need help. So we were able to put the entire framework together. And the growth has been tremendous in terms of content creators being onboarded. To give you an example, we were at about 500 content creators on the platform in March. And as of today, we have crossed about 5,500. So 5,500 content creators within, let's say, 90 days later. So it has been tremendous that way.
What about competition? Who do you consider competition in this space?
To be to be honest, I think the real competition right now is the offline world. Um, it's surprising. There are tons of solutions out there that can enable some parts of what we offer, some large parts of what we offer, some lesser parts of what we offer. But I think the real competition is when some tutors, some experts and coaches still think that the offline can exist in silo. So that is the real competition. We need to basically keep growing and keep telling people that this is a powerful medium. And I believe with every new solution that comes out in the market, it's great because that's a sign of market expanding.
What are your plans going forward, given that you just raised funding? What are the short-term plans, as well as what's the long-term vision?
In the shorter term, we have been able to deploy funds in a really good way. As I mentioned earlier, we are raising Series A round right now, and we have ongoing conversations with the investors from around the world. So we hope to close that soon too. So we would expand globally with this new raise that we are looking at with our Series A round. We are also looking to build some technology features that are unprecedented in the space, and they're going to be offered progressively. Like in the next few days, we are launching state-of-the-art live streaming technology. So you could conduct a live class without getting disturbed by students asking questions, and unlimited bandwidth for schools as well as content creators. And we keep adding more. We are launching a lot of mobile based solutions and technologies that will help content creators in the remotest part of the country to be able to create content at scale and help and teach students anywhere in the world. That's kind of a big goal.